Awesome. Well, welcome back. It is now March 16th, and everyone is staying home. Schools have been canceled. A lot has happened. Trump gave an address for quite a while yesterday. I have back with me Kelly Korsick, who is the really designer developer of the Flip software. So, Kelly, welcome back to talk about market trends and just what's going on with the market, and then what do we do with our money today? So those are our two topics.
I see. Yeah, good morning, Laurel. Nice to see you again and talk. Yes, I'll cut right into it. Yesterday, and we're going to continue to see this on a daily basis. The markets are going to evolve daily to these new pieces of news, anything that can help create guidance for people to feel safe in their homes in the coming weeks as we start shutting down restaurants and all sporting events and things like that. The trading in the market and investing in the market has always been a thing that we think we must do in order to build our wealth over time. But in cases like this, the most important thing for people to know is, again, they may panic about what are we going to do if we run out of toilet paper, but the markets will remain. The markets will remain. They are designed to go higher. However, right now, people should stay on the sidelines. Try to just watch. Try not to be nervous, and recognize that once these events, which are very unique, transpire, there will be damage to the economy, but there are some stocks right now that are on huge discount sales. I mean, I saw Apple this morning at $241, which is a full $100 off of its high, down practically 33%, which means historically when you buy Apple down 33%, the gains in the following 2 years are double, so 100% higher. So these are the kind of things that are starting to occur right now. There is opportunity. If people are interested in the market and they have cash, it is actually a wonderful time to open up an account and start nibbling very, very gingerly at the apple.
Mm-hmm. So, Kelly, talk a little bit. No, I get it. So, talk about iFlip, what the software does, and how it's performing during this time versus the market.
Okay. iFlip software is a unique approach to investment. It uses mathematical algorithms to invest rather than some advisor or that is telling you to buy a mutual fund. It is very cost efficient, meaning that there's very, very few fees. Matter of fact, it's only a single fee. It has actually become commission free, and we use mathematics to be able to guide a person's portfolio. Right now, the main flip portfolios have 75% to 90% cash. They've been this way for over a week. The last 15% down in the market, we have not participated in, which is the good thing. Market's down about 28, so we're down as well. We get hurt in times like this, but at the end of the day, we're in cash right now, so it's a lot easier for us to breathe. Investors in our software have this advantage.
And so we're down, a couple points versus the 28 that's in the market?
The market right now is down about 28 to 29%. It was worse than that on the open, 30%. The flip software is anywhere down, depending on accounts, between 3% and 14%, depending on what people's portfolios consisted of. So we're beating the market by about half.
And so those who aren't, right, there's millions. What should they do with their portfolio? I mean, right now they probably have a broker that's, either taking them out, you just sit, it's already down. What do they do with their portfolios if they're not in the software? And, we're going to put a link in, those of you, and I know it probably sounds like we're pitching software, but I'll tell you, it's a really safe option for those of you who are very emotionally driven and can't manage the fear and the nervousness, it takes the emotion out, is what I love. And it's been a great tool for us. So those who don't have the software, what should they do? Should they cash out?
They should, when in times like this, the main thing that managers tell people is don't cash out, the market will come back. Well, that doesn't give people warm and fuzzies to understand that what happens if the market goes down another 20%? So we have a 50% correction like we did in the financial crisis of 2008. Then they're even in more trouble for the advice saying, oh, don't cash out, stick with it. If you want to stick with it for the next 10 years, that is the answer. However, if you want to have a smoother route to prosperity, the Flip software does that job. My suggestion to them would be to open up an account at Flip. They can move their existing portfolios over to Flip. And once they're at Flip, let algorithms determine if they should be in or out. And then one significant difference you'll find also with Flip is should you do that and move your money over to a Flip platform, which is it's free, doesn't cost anything. What you would find is you would never again buy mutual funds, but you would end up buying actual stocks. And that's the big difference. Stocks that are managed by little robots that actually look at each individual stock and manage it uniquely. That is the advantage. So the software can tell you what to do much better than a man, including myself. I recommend highly to move money into a Flip account.
Yep, definitely. So you mentioned Apple. You want to? We'll be doing this every day for those of you listening, and some days you'll be watching us live. Any other quick little tips you've seen down? I know you mentioned AT&T over the weekend and Friday.
Oh, AT&T. Yes, you want AT&T or ExxonMobil. AT&T it was at $31 a share this morning. That equates to a 7% yield. AT&T always wants to trade between 34 and 38. There's huge upside on it with very, very little risk on the downside. And by the way, it doesn't mean we won't place phone calls, we won't use internet, and we won't watch direct TV as we wait out the coronavirus. The stocks are being thrown out with the baby wash. That's the thing. AT&T, look at ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil, demand destruction, is now trading at $38, $37 a share. It's offering a dividend of around 8% at the current level. I think ExxonMobil will survive. I really do. I think ExxonMobil will be around a year from now. It'll be trading above 50. And even if they cut the dividend, so what? You still would get 4%. So in the short run, you'll get 8% owning ExxonMobil. The AT&T dividend, by the way, pays in April, early April. So those are things to keep an eye on.
Awesome. So in addition to cash, and like you said, getting to Flip, and I think the other thing I'm going to clarify is if you wanted to just do some of your own, I'm going to say nibbling, but just putting in a few and getting out, you can trade by yourself individually over at Flip as well. It just is a very different, I'm going to say, gives you more choices instead of just being, freaked out with a market broker that won't take you out of the market and it's cold.
Can we show you how to do? Thank you, Laurel. We show people how to do it. We actually educate you on things to do. Even if you know nothing, you do have the ability to go in and we actually show you how to be able to place a trade if you want to do that. And you can buy it yourself and you can sell it yourself. You can buy and sell easily and free. Yep.
And so let's just talk about money. Right, we're going to be doing a lot of education and creating, our goals to be, calm voice and have, you on a regular basis so people don't freak out. A couple of things I'm seeing. I think over shopping, which isn't really necessary. I mean, we've been, told last night, that there will be plenty of supplies, and then also, just not paying down debt. I've seen people take runs on the bank. Just give a few tips, like what to do, like daily, kind of more responsible behavior.
I think the responsible behavior now is the hardest thing in the world to do right now is not to worry. Now, I understand why we worry. We worry because we worry about our health. will the grocery stores have food in them? Things like that. The infrastructure of the country is very deep. They're creating, the main focus of the government right now is to create this social spacing. But that doesn't mean to shut down trucks that deliver food to grocery stores. A couple of recommendations there. I recommend shopping during the week, not the weekend. I recommend recognizing that if you want to start to invest right now, which many people don't because they're afraid who the investments are the last thing they're thinking about, that if they do, though, this is a great time to change some things in your life that you think might give you an improvement after this. So I think right now, I think it's very important to keep a pace with the news, follow the rules that the ideas that the government is saying. You can pick and choose the ones, but at the end of the day, the government is giving good guidance. And within a few weeks, and keep in mind that more things will shut down. More services will shut down. But that doesn't mean that the market will shut down. So in terms of your overall wealth, these things will start to steady out at some time over the next few weeks. And given where interest rates are and everything else, I feel that the outlook actually is looking very opportunistic to me.
Yeah, I do too. So talk a little bit about, just so I won't keep you on forever because we'll be, back in little chunks of content. But talk about Trump's address. I thought it was very calming. High certainty, from the grocery stores to, just providing the confidence of the infrastructure, as you said, is still there, going to be there, and this extreme panic isn't as necessary as everybody's thinking.
I think the president is doing the best he can. This is a situation that it seems like a lot of Republican presidents have to face. The Gulf War, the 9/11, the financial crisis, now the coronavirus. If you keep in mind, if you think of those, every time it was a Republican in office that had that. And when you after something like this, generally there's a change of venue because they blame the existing administration for the facts. So they want change. And that's how either a Clinton or an Obama got elected. So when you look at these situations, I personally feel that Trump's speech was as good. Any president would have done about the same thing. I think Trump's speech and his continued speeches daily will ultimately have an effect to calm fears. But again, we have a polarized country, and it's very difficult for a polarized country to listen to an administration in these times, and that creates greater volatility. My personal opinion, for what it's worth, is that he did a good job last Friday. I thought it was a great job. And then yesterday, just being there, and the fact that we're starting to see the team he put together start to grind the wheels forward and unlock is very positive. So, for example, they even passed a bill where Trump and Pelosi had to actually work together. Let's hope the Senate gets it through today, which it should. And these are the kind of things that will mitigate the fears of people in the coming weeks.
So last question, Kelly, the interest rates are at all-time low. So refi, so buy. I mean, to me, that move will keep the economy moving, especially on the real estate side. I mean, people can pre-qualify those. There's so much they could do on that.
Absolutely. A refi is a great idea right now, and these rates will remain low far beyond the virus. So keep in mind that the refi doesn't have to be done today, but within a month, when we have greater clarity on the virus, absolutely. If you don't refi now, when the interest rates are at zero, all time, obviously, it can go lower than zero, we've learned, but refi is an incredibly good move right now. I think if you don't look at it, and it is even as good as a rate you might have, it's not going to be as good as the rate you can get now. And this is the kind of thing that makes a huge difference, especially if you're younger, in your 40s or even 50s, and you have 20 years left on your mortgage. It's highly good move to move, or 20 or more years left on your mortgage. It's an extremely good thing to do.
Yeah. Kelly, I appreciate you being on. We'll be back on. All of you, stay tuned. Look for regular daily feeds and conversations from Kelly and I. I'm also going to be bringing some other business owners, marketers. What do you do if you have been working offline and now you have to go online? And we'll be following my journey of doing that 5 months as well. So Kelly, thank you. And those of you, there's a link if you want the Flip software in this conversation and the link to it. So go download it and stay in touch. Thanks, Kelly.
Okay. Thank you, Loral. Thanks, everybody. Be well.